Dr. K. Ali, Department of Mathematics of our college.
Thank you, sir.
Also, my best wishes and welcome to organizing committee members, Dr. S. Chellaya, Dr. N. Meena, Dr. K. Das, Dr. K. Murugan, Dr. S. Lokambal, Dr. Sayyid Ali Nishaya, research scholars, students, staff members of our college and participants from various institutions. Once again, my sincere welcome to one and all. And after completing this webinar, give your valuable suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. P. Namachivayam, convener, the MTT Hindu College, to introduce the resource person, Mr. B. Anand, network engineer, Bharathidasan University, Tiruchi. Sir. Namachivayam, sir.
Good evening, all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce the resource person of the day, Mr. Anand, basically a mathematician and a network engineer of Bharathidasan University, Tiruchi. He has played a key role in the establishment of UGC Infonet program in the university and bringing the university in rank 1 and in state level and rank 10 in national level in the utilization of e-journals. He has developed manuscript gallery, learning management system, etc. He has acted as a member IQAC, member board of studies in various colleges. So I am extremely happy to welcome such an eminent personality, Mr. Anand, to handle the today's session with the title E-Content Development for Teaching Mathematics. Thank you. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite resource person, Mr. B. Anand, network engineer, Bharathidasan University, Tiruchi, to start the technical session. Sir?
Thank you, madam. Respected principal of MTT Hindu College, Tirunelveli, respected coordinator of IQAC, members of IQAC, respected head of the Department of Mathematics of MTT Hindu College, Dr. Ali Madam, and faculty members of Department of Mathematics, and my dear participants. Very good afternoon to one and all. Is my voice audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is the present scenario now. The conventional education learning is shifting to online learning. So this image I came across the web and I wanted to share you. This image represents 1,000 meanings. So what the present scenario is. So we are shifting from the conventional education to online education. That's why I want to share the image with you. So the important words is to be kept in mind always. So whatever it may be the situation, either this pandemic or whatever the problem in life, so we should have these 4 things in mind. Life is a continuous learning process. You will understand why I am telling this at the starting of this webinar. And life is a chain of wonderful experiences. See, you want to learn every day. Every day you have to update yourself. So if you learn every day, if you learn more, you will be more comfortable and you will be more reliable for what you teach every day. Your students don't think that you are an updated teacher. So you have to learn every day, you have to update every day because technology is improving like anything. So being a mathematics faculty members and students, we have to update our knowledge every day to keep in track with the current trend. And life is a chain of wonderful experiences. See, whatever the initiative you take, whatever the work you do, or either a new work or a challenging work, people will be there to praise you and people will be there to criticize you. Don't take the praisings into your mind and don't take the criticism into your heart, because both will ruin your success. See, whatever you do, you will have a challenge. As I said earlier, people will be there to praise you and people will be there to criticize you. So if you have a challenge, so don't get rid of it, don't get afraid of it, like this pandemic. So far, for the past 5 months, we are in lockdown. A very big panic has been created by this pandemic, but we are keep moving on. We should do that. So if you have any challenges, accept it, face it, and overcome it, and never ever give up. If you win, you achieve. If you lose, you are learning. Fail, FAIL, is meant for first attempt in learning. So whatever it may be the issue, whatever it may be the problem you're facing, just face it and never give up until you get succeed in it. Now, why we are here now? Why this webinar? Because of the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. So optimistic people will see opportunities in every problems. During this pandemic, we are in a very big panic situation. We are get afraid of it. And in this opportunity, in this pandemic, we are attending more webinars, and colleges and organizations are conducting more webinars to improve the knowledge and share the knowledge. So I see it as a positive point even in this pandemic. So what is the impact of this pandemic COVID-19 in our life? We are forced to use the digital platforms. Even before we are doing it, but not to this extent. Even though we have ATM card, I have seen many people, they will go to bank. They will give a check and take the cash and come home after 1 hour. Today I went to bank, I spent 1 hour there like this. Even though they have ATM card. For paying EB bills, they used to visit the EB office, stand in queue and speak with different segment of people and share their experiences. It was a time passing for those people. Now everybody doing it on their mobile applications. Even people like me are not going to ATM. So every payment will be made of the online payment, will be made through online payment. So we are forced to use the digital platforms, because why I'm specifying ATM is, ATM is, as far as I'm concerned, ATM is one of the big machine that will spread the coronavirus as a carrier. I don't know how many ATMs are being cleaned periodically within for every 1 hour. They have sanitized it. Government have given the instruction, but I don't think the banks are doing that. So we are forced to use the digital platforms. Schools and colleges are shifting to new way of teaching and learning, from conventional classroom mode to online mode. So we are accustomed to it. And we are attending more webinars than conventional seminars. So for every year, all the colleges, all the departments are used to conduct the seminars, one per department. So every college will conduct 3 to 4 seminars during the month of January to March. Now, every day, few colleges are conducting webinars. Count is going across 100 in various topic of learning, various topic of research, almost various levels of learning. They are conducting webinars. We are attending so many webinars. We have improved our knowledge on that. So I will see this also as a positive point. And we are practiced to live without so many things which we thought as very essential earlier. Without hotels, we practice to live. Without cinema theaters, without malls, shopping malls, without tourist spots, we are practiced to live. So previously we thought that these are all the very essential things to give a peaceful life. Now, what is the peaceful life? Stay safe without getting affected by any infection. That is our peaceful life today's, as per today's scenario. So these are all the impacts created by this pandemic. So this is the e-content development comes under the big screen, under the big screen of communication technology, big screen of communication technology. This is the evolution. Earlier days we have a telephone which is have a mic and this speaker alone, as shown in this figure, and then dialed phones, then button phones, cordless phones, mobiles, smartphones are now smart watches. So these are all the communication equipments which upgraded our life like anything. And what next? From satellite to now we are using internet technology for all the online activities. We don't know what next. The better technology than internet will come in future to upgrade our life. So what are the impacts of communication technology, information and communication technology? So earlier we had classroom lectures, we have chalk and talk method. For learning new things, technological aspects, we used to go for industries for industrial training and in-plant training like that. And that e-learning was stepped into our life. So instead of carrying 2 buried books in hand, we carried thousands of books in a pen drive and CD. So we learned so many things through videos, televisions, and online lectures and all. So that was a part of learning. E-learning was a part of conventional education. Now, during this pandemic, we are forced to take over the online education, that is flipped classroom concepts. So when in the earlier stage, every classes will be conducted in the school. Students are very busy in the school. They came home, they will do their homework and they will be very comfortable and playing at home. Now the home became the classroom. All the contents are delivered through online, through Google Meet, through Zoom. For online education has been started. So the home became their school. Now they feel so excited. When will the school open? They want to know when will the schools are open in this pandemic. So the flipped room concept, online education has been implemented forcefully into our life. So these are all the impact of communication technology. It is made possible by this communication technology during this pandemic period. So now with this initial note, I will come into the subject. E-content. What is e-content? Just a general definition, e-content is termed as electronic content that include text, images, graphics, animations, audio and video, that is multimedia contents. So it may be text alone or images alone or combination of any of these or all of the above. So e-content will be of single element or combinations or all of the above components. This is the general definition of an e-content. So in this webinar, we will see all the aspects about the e-contents, not only developing e-content, e-learning materials. So typing in a Word document and saving it as a PDF or saving it as a document format is an e-content. There is no doubt of it. But in this online education, development of e-content, that is e-learning material, is a single component. The success of online education lies on how you deliver the e-content to the students. How effectively you deliver the e-content to the students. That is very important. Anybody can create e-content. If you know typing, if you know to work with MS Word or MS Excel or MS PowerPoint, you are able to create an e-content. But what subject you are dealing with, that plays a important role. Then how you prepare the e-content. Then how you present the e-content to the students. Now government is giving instructions to conduct online live classes. So there are two modules are involved. You have to prepare the content, e-content, and you have to present the e-content live to the students. Not simply giving a video or a textbook through YouTube to the students. You have to deliver the lecture online by seeing a camera. So it is a very difficult task for the faculty members. So first we should define what is online teaching, how we define that. Inviting a professor, ask them to stand in front of the camera, or not ask them to teach. This is what e-learning, online teaching we define. So whatever you do in the classroom, chalk and talk method, you do the same in front of the camera. So that is not online teaching. In the classroom concepts, you don't have any tools. You have a blackboard and you have a chalk piece. 90% of the classes will have blackboard and chalk piece alone. 10% of the classes will have some smart boards or LCD projectors to present your PowerPoint or document. But in the online teaching, you have so many tools. In classrooms, there is no option for you either except a chalk and talk. But you have so many tools. You can play audio, you can play a video, and you can show some graphics. You can visit some live websites to show the demo. So like this, so much of tools and facilities are there for you to present the content to the students. Without using all these facilities, if you present a document alone, that won't be effective for the students. One main reason is, when you teach from your home or from your school through online, you are seeing the camera. You don't have any visual contact with your students. There is no eye-to-eye contact to monitor the students. But in classroom, you can do that. You can teach for 5 minutes and you can watch the students whether they are writing it or not, they are listening it or not. You can sense it. But in online teaching, it is not possible. I am seeing the camera, you are seeing my face. You can have an eye contact with me, but I don't have any eye contact with you. Because if I see your faces, I will skip my content. So without having the visual contact, eye-to-eye contact, it is very difficult to create a bonding between the teachers and students. So it will come in practice. When you have a laptop or mobile phone and you are teaching,
replaces each lecture by the third one. The next one is monoalphabetic cipher. So monoalphabetic is nothing but it is shifting the alphabet.
Somebody is presenting.
The keyboard is given that can be shuffled or it can be jumbled. The letters arbitrarily. It is our usual way. What shuffling we can do to the receiver. So we can take the lecture maps to a different random ciphertext. So for example, the plain image. Suppose if you want you to send the message as if we wish to replace letters. So that message, if you want to send.
Participants, please mute your microphone.
We have to use the key. Suppose we are setting the key as B, K, E, Q, F, I, P. Here we are sending the key. Then the ciphertext, the corresponding ciphertext will be W, I, R, F, R, W, A. So the
Hello?
one see this hypertext and the key. So with the
Somebody is presenting, somebody's microphone is on, please switch on it, switch off it.
Hello. Dear participants, please.
WIRF.
Krishnamurthy Ramaswamy. Oh, okay. So without having the visual contact, it is very difficult to control the students. So in the online teaching concept, I want to convey some few important points, because from 3rd of August onwards, all the colleges are instructed to take online classes 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, and 450 hours in 90 working days. Whether it is possible or not, we will discuss it, and we will discuss about the difficulties, and I will tell you some few tips to save your mobile data and battery charge of your mobile in later slides. So now we know what are the components of e-content, and there are many tools for creating the e-contents. For text related contents, you can everybody knows that Microsoft Word is the best option to create the documents, and obviously PowerPoint for presentations, and Microsoft Excel for these spreadsheets. If you want to show a pie chart or want to have a bar graph and all, you can create it on Excel sheet by entering the values and creating the pie charts options. And OpenOffice is one of the open source softwares for all of the three, which comprises of all of the three components. And Microsoft is the licensed one, but we are using it as a cracked software. But Microsoft product is the licensed one. You have to pay for that if you want to use it legally. And then images, tools for creating images and graphics. Generally, we know that Paint is one of the very well-known software which come along with the operating system of Windows. Up to Windows 7, Windows version 7, Paint software is there. From Windows 10 onwards, Paint 3D, or enhanced version of Paint software is also ordered in that. So you can create images and banners or posters like that in using Paint and Paint 3D softwares. And Dropad is the another one software which is available in MCH website. It is free for some time. You can use it as a trial version for a long time. You can have you can create the images in layers. After that, if you want to edit the contents, you can open that source file and you can rearrange the layers so that you can manipulate with the images. GIMP is also a freeware, and Adobe Photoshop is the licensed version of image editing and graphics software, which is a wonderful software, but it is licensed. You can't get it for free. Wherein Dropad, GIMP, and Paint are free softwares, open source softwares. Even you can create images using PowerPoints, because PowerPoints you will have a different background slides. You can create a design. You can choose a design from the options. After creating the text and images, you save the file as PPT, PowerPoint template files, or PPTX in later versions. If you give save as, and there is the option save as type, if you click that, a menu will come. In that, select PNG or JPG, and then you save it. Every slide of your PowerPoint will be saved as an image. After whatever the arrangements, whatever the design you do inside the PowerPoint presentation, you can save your PowerPoint presentation as an image file. The option is given in the PowerPoint software itself, in the save as option. You can try that. And then there's animation tools. Animation, all the measures does not require animations. And there are some free tools and licensed tools are there. Arts of Illusion, Blender, Express Animate are the free softwares to to create animation videos. And Adobe Flash is a licensed one. If you are an engineering student, you can use 3D engineering animation, which is available as a mobile application in Google Play Store. And then very important thing, audio, video, images, and text are the very common components mostly used by all the faculty members and students of all the discipline. Definitely, audio and video are mandatory components of an e-content. So you can record an audio using your mobile phone or through a sound recorder software of your computer system or laptop. If you want to trim the software, or if you want to edit the software, if you want to remove some portion of the audio file, or if you want to add some portion of the audio file from the another audio file, you can use audio editing softwares like Audacity, WavePad are the best two audio editing softwares. And if you go to mobile Play Store, audio cutting, MP3 editing, MP3 cutter softwares are available in numbers. So that can be make use of it. You can make use of it. So make use of the softwares to edit your audios. So many apps are available in Play Store, as I said earlier. Many editing works of audios and videos nowadays, after the entry of smartphone into a life, and Google Play Store is giving so much of lakhs and lakhs of softwares, we can do that audio editing and video editing in your mobile itself. And tools for video editing. So this is the list of 4 I have given. So many apps are there. The best one is Olive. The size of the setup file is only 36 MB, 37 MBs. It's a lightweight, but most powerful. You can load a huge size file size video, 4 GB, 3 GB video into that software, and you can do editing. You can add layers without any hurdles. The software will not overload any size of files. It's a lightweight, very small software that can handle very big video size. In many softwares, I tried in VideoPad, even in VideoPad, if you edit the video, the audio video syncing will not be there. The lip sync will not be there. Some distraction will be there in few softwares like VideoPad. But in Olive, it comes exactly good. And Filmora is one of the best options. It's a very good video editor. But after editing, it will come with a watermark, Filmora. Like watermark will be there. But in Olive, there is no watermark will be added into your video. So Vegas is the very good video editing tool, but that is licensed. You can try it for free for some time. So first of all, I will let you know what are the components of e-contents and what are the tools to create that components, and then we will go to some few techniques of writing mathematics equation and all. So this is the nch.com.au website, wherein you can find so many softwares. Many of them are free and many of them are licensed, but you can have plenty of softwares for audio editing, dictation, business, graphics, utilities, video. So you can have a look at it and can download and try some softwares. But the cost of the software is not too high. If you want to, if you legally want to purchase a software, you can do it on this website. And then see, okay, we are learned to create the e-content. We can create an audio. We can create a video. And we are going to present this content to the students. That is our ultimate goal, ultimate aim. Okay, you have created a video that will be of 1 GB of size. Audio, ebooks, everything. Where will you store it? Before delivering the content to the students, you need a platform to store the e-content. From there, you can share the content to the students. So what are the platforms? The platforms, the space where you store your contents is called storage. If you have it on your system, it is internal storage. If you have it on your pen drive or hard disk, that is an external storage. If you store the contents in somewhere in the cloud, somewhere in the servers, Google server or Microsoft server or Amazon server, that storage is called cloud storage. So what are all the cloud storage are very famous and very good in service to us? First one is Google Drive. If you have a Gmail account, you will be provided with a Google Drive. There will be 9 dot icon in the Google email page, Gmail page, at the right top corner of your page. If you click that, there will triangle icon will be there called Drive, Google Drive. Just click that. So every Gmail ID is provided with 15 GB of storage to store your files and the mail storages. Total size is 15 GB. If you have a Hotmail or account or live.com account from Microsoft, every email ID is provided with 5 GB storage of space. If you create an account in MediaFire, every register account will have 10 GB of storage. And if you want to have an unlimited size or licensed one, these all the before mentioned the Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, and MediaFire are free. But you can pay and have a huge space in GBs and TBs in Amazon Drive, through Amazon Cloud. In Google Drive, I mentioned about the Gmail ID. There is one more option for the educational institutions. You can register for G Suite, Google Apps account for education. For educational institutions approved by the government, recognized by the government, which you have a website, official website, exclusive official website, not in blogs. Registered website you can apply for Google Suite for education, which is available at free of cost. What are the advantages of this G Suite? What are the advantages? You can create thousands of email IDs under your domain name. If my organization domain is bdu.az.in, I can create thousands of email IDs at the rate bdu.az.in. My ID is anandbdu at bdu.az.in. What is the difference between having a Gmail ID and G Suite ID? In Gmail ID, only 15 GB of space is available, is allotted for every account. Wherein G Suite account for education have unlimited storage. Unlimited storage. How many accounts? You can create up to 2,000 accounts. You can give it to students. You can give it to staff members, faculty members. Everybody can have official email ID at your domain name. For the colleges and schools, it is made mandatory now to have a G Suite account, because institutional account, email ID, because if you want to apply for a project or a grant from many funding agencies, they are requesting you to provide the institutional email ID. So G Suite for education is free. If you want to register G Suite for business, or you don't want to apply for education segment. You want, if you are running a company and I want to have an email ID like my name at mycompany.com, I have to pay 3,000 rupees per annum per ID. That will be provided 30 GB of space, not unlimited. Wherein general Gmail ID will have 15 GB. If you pay 3,000 rupees per ID per year, you will be provided with 30 GB of space. wherein Google Suite for Education, it is free for education with unlimited storage for every ID. You can create up to 2,500 IDs. One more advantage of G Suite account is you can accommodate 250 participants in a meeting, Google Meet. Wherein if you create a Google Meet in Gmail using Gmail ID, only 100 participants is allowed. You cannot record your video in Gmail ID created Gmeets. Wherein in G Suite account you can record your video. After recording is over, the video will be stored in your Google Drive automatically. So, number of recordings you can do, how many number of meetings you conduct it. Automatically, if you record, if you start recording and stop recording, that will be stored in your Google Drive. You can share the link to anyone else in this world. There is no need to download, no need to send, attach, like just share the link. They will click the link, automatically the video will be opened from your drive to them. So these are the very big advantages of G Suite Education. Why I am insisting this is e-content delivery is now totally dependent on some platforms like Google Meet or Zoom. Zoom is licensed. If you want to have a free license, every 40 minutes the Zoom meeting will end. Again, you have to re-entry into that. But when compared to Google Meet, Zoom has some facilities. You can annotate some whiteboard kind of stuff out there. But it is commercial. So I don't think all the institutions can purchase Zoom if it goes on higher price in future. So it is better to go for a G Suite account. Almost all the services from Google are free there. Okay. And then another way of delivering the content to the students, we can use Google Classroom. One of the applications of Google, which is also free for education, and also in Gmail ID it is free for some extent. It is a LMS, Learning Management System. And Moodle is one of the famous learning management systems till date. Blackboard and Talent LMS are the commercials one, and you can try it for free. You can create a classroom, you can create a teacher, you can create a student, that is assign the students, you can assign a teacher to students. The teacher can deliver the content through online. So this kind of classroom kind of stuff will be there in Google Classroom. And most of the colleges, those who have G Suite for Education registered, are now using Google Classroom for conducting the classes. As far as my knowledge goes, I have seen so many colleges, I have discussed with so many colleges, they are doing it through Google Classroom. So faculty members, those who are, if you have in a dilemma to use which platform to go for online teaching learning management system, you see, in learning management system, you can organize your contents. Even through WhatsApp, you can deliver the content to the students. But how organized it is? How organized it is. So if you want to deliver the content in an organized manner, it is better. I suggest you to go for Google Classroom or Moodle. And then, so when creating the e-contents, we are manually typing it. Grammar mistakes will come. Typographical errors will come. Unknowingly come. In a flow, we used to write datas, children's, people's. These are the few most commonly used words. Data is itself a plural, but we are adding one s as datas. Datum is the singular, data is the plural. person is a singular, people is the plural. So in a flow, not intentionally we are doing, in a flow everybody will write people, children. So this type of errors will eradicated by the grammar checking softwares. Grammarly or Ginger are the best grammar checking softwares available at free of cost. In my personal experience, when my wife did her PhD, the entire PhD thesis was evaluated through this Grammarly and Ginger. It wonderfully eradicates the errors, identifies the errors, and suggested the correct phrases. So generally, we used to give it to a English professor, to a non-English professor for correction. At the time, we were running of lag of time, and we had to submit it very short span of period. So we used Grammarly and Ginger for correction. It was wonderfully helped us in completion of the thesis, and the thesis was highly commended and well written, and commended as well written thesis by the examiners. So you can definitely make use of it. Grammarly and Ginger, you love it because it has a plugin for MS Word also. Whenever you type, automatically it will suggest this phrase can be written like this. The best option of phrases will be suggested by the grammar checking softwares, Grammarly and Ginger. You can have a look at it and try it also. Grammar Check is online editor, and also Weber Source Speller is online software for grammar checking. You can cut and paste the contents on the boxes available there. It will automatically correct and give a text. You can copy and paste it again into your Word document. And then, if you want to have a site on your own, the blog is the best option without any investments. You can write your ideas. You can write any articles. That is no publishing articles is different. You can share your thoughts every day. The blogspot.com, WordPress, Wix, and Weebly are the very famous blogging sites. You can create an account there. It will give you a very good graphical user interface guide mode. There is no need to write any script and coding, HTML coding, PHP coding and all. It will be available in boxes. In title box, you give a title that will go and fetch it as a title. So the blogging sites are very good options to share your ideas and share your knowledge. So I use Blogspot for the past 15 years. It was nice, and WordPress is one of the best blogging softwares. So you can have, you can try it, and if you post your contents, you post your notes, even notes, share your thoughts. So it's the best for knowledge sharing options. Now coming into the focus of our webinar. So creating e-content is okay. It is common. It is common to all disciplines. But for mathematics, there were some difficulties. The equations. No. For English professor, he can write a text. For history professor, he can write a text and drag some images of Ashoka and Akbar, Birbal and all. He can create an e-content with the graphics. But for mathematics teachers, very, very tough aspect is creating the equations. The two, we were graduated during the faculty members, those who were graduated between 90s and 2000, did not had the provisions of using the computer systems. Excuse me. They used to write on notes, taking manual notes and all. So computer systems into education was entered into education sector only by 2000. After 2000 only, the frequent usage of computer system. Even in the early of 2000, when UGC Infra project was introduced, many colleges did not have the internet connectivity to access the e-journals. Many colleges have only one computer system, the two placed in the principal's room, and without his permission, nobody can access that. We used to say that as a computer corner, not a computer center. Now every department, every faculty member is provided with a computer system. And in the olden days, computer system was defined as the electronic component facility meant for the computer science faculty alone. But when this type of scenario, whatever it may be the subject, Tamil or English or history or economics or commerce, we have to create the content. Like radio, like television, like mobile phone, the computer system have become a common equipment to all disciplines of learning. So, math tools are very helpful in this situation to create equations. Even in MS Word, equation tools are there. How many of you noticed? I don't know. From 2000, Microsoft Office 2007 onwards, the equation tools are there. In later versions, wonderful options are also included in that equation tools of MS Word. And in for mobile apps, Microsoft Math Solver is one of the beautiful app. You can write the equation in a notebook. You open the app and scan the equation. It will read the content, your handwritten content, and convert it to equations. It will solve and give you the results on mobile. It's a wonderful software. So what I am suggesting is, you are not going to solve off entire syllabus through this app, but you can give this as an introduction to students. You can ask them to do it. It will give some interest, some interesting experience to them to focus on their studies. Otherwise, as I said, without any eye contact, it will be vague for them to concentrate on lessons for a long time. You can add this type of modules in between, like masalas, to make it spicy. And Mathify app is one of the best apps. And many more apps are available for mathematical purposes. You go to Play Store, Google Play Store in Android mobiles or Apple Store in iPhones. Search for mathematics tools, math tools. Plenty of software is that. You try one by one, whichever fits your requirement, whichever is comfortable for you. You just leave it and you uninstall the other to save your mobile storage space. See, this is the screenshot of the mathematical tool. If you go to insert in MS Office page, if you go to insert, the equations will come. If you see the equations now, the fraction, strip, radical, integral, large operator, brackets, functions, all the mathematical operations, even see here, for LaTeX, if you are familiar with editing with LaTeX, that can be done here. You see, I have the drop down menu, I have taken a screenshot of that. So see, in this integral now, if you click this integral, you will have single integral, double integral, triple integral, contour integrals. What are all the equations you use that will be available in a single click? You can just go and edit, it will be placed on it. Here is a matrix, 1 by 2, 2 by 1, 3 by 3, 2 by 3, what size, whatever it is the size you can give in. You can select and enter this matrix value here for creating your content in mathematics. And also one more thing, you can include a video in your Word document. You are seeing a video in YouTube, most very good educational videos are also available in YouTube. I'm stressing, also available, because we use YouTube to see some comedy videos, songs, few entertainment channels, and many very good kind of educational stuff videos will be there. One of the best channel I suggest is Let us make engineering simple. LMES channel is there. They rarely post videos, but technically they will explain you the technology very clearly, that is run by an engineer from Ramanathapuram. It's a wonderful channel. You frequently visit that and see the videos. Even he will teach you how to teach, how to explain a concept to the students. Wonderful videos are there in this channel. Let us make engineering simple. So in this, if you see, you are seeing a video there in YouTube. If you want to show the video to the students, you can add the video link into your document. If you go to insert, see here, online video under the media tab is there. Before that, you go to YouTube, copy the link, and you paste the link here, insert a video, and click insert. That video will be inserted into your document. I have taken a link of a video that is explaining about a dy by dx. So simply you can play. Automatically the video from YouTube will play on your document. So in this way you can use the internet tools. You don't need to explain all the concepts on your own. If you are impressed by a video by a teacher posted from any organization, if you're impressed that it was well-defined video, you can share the video to the students and add your own ideas and comments on them. There is nothing wrong in it. Our ultimate aim to educate the students, to make them understand the concepts. You can follow whatever the rules available, whatever the resources available on the internet. You can use. This is the best practices. Taking the best resources on the internet and sharing with the students and make them educate. So in this way you can add a video to your content. And then if you want to record a video, there is another one aspect. We are doing online teaching, live teaching. Okay, we are creating a PowerPoint, we are creating a PDF file, we are creating a document, and using this Google Meet or Zoom, we are presenting and we are speaking online. Very big problem in online teaching is the data and the power, battery power. If you are planning for 5 hours, 6 hours a day, classes a day, even if you have 1 GB internet connectivity per day, the 1 GB of connectivity will not last for more than 2 hours if you attend an online meeting. During this time, I will give you few tips and I will tell you few technical information about attending the meeting and presenting the meeting. In every meeting, we are requesting the participants to mute your microphone. Please switch off your video. We are keep on insisting the same. Muting microphone is also has meaning because everybody is speaking now. That will create a very, very big mess, and the speaker cannot concentrate on his speech, on her speech. But video, whatever the video they will switch on, we will see, that's it. What wrong in it? See, I am a participant. I am attending a meeting. I am going to listen to the speaker's audio and I am going to see the speaker's video or presentation. My video and my audio, my voice has no business in this meeting. Okay? In this situation, if I switch on the video, I am broadcasting my video to all the participants of the meeting. Everybody will see my video. They are seeing it or not, the video will be displayed on the device. If I switch on my microphone, the audio will be transmitted to all the participants. What will happen? The bandwidth for me, for broadcasting my audio and video, and bandwidth for every participants to receive my audio and video will be consumed. That is why we are requesting all the participants to mute your microphone. That has two aspects. One, to save the mobile data for all the participants, and also to reduce the noises, disturbances during the meeting. Switching off the video will help you in large scale to save your mobile data. By seeing a video, bandwidth will consume. When you switch on your video, the video transmission will be in two ways. Every participant will see your video, and you are seeing the speaker's video. So if you switch on your camera, the data consumption will be more for all the participants. So this is why we are insisting to switch off the video during meeting. Whenever you want to show your face when you speak, you switch on the video on microphone, speak and switch off. This is a small tip for you to save your. So I hope students also there in this in this meeting. If you experience any difficulty in consumption of the mobile data for attending long time classes, you try this. Don't switch on your video unless the teachers ask to do it. Don't switch on your microphone. Definitely certain amount of data will be saved. And another biggest problem is within 3 hours the battery will drain if you attend online classes. So we don't advise attending online classes through mobile phones when the phone is under charge. Better if you are having a laptop or computer system in home, give priority to that, utilize that resource, because even if you charge a laptop, that won't be effective in any way. But charging the mobile and listening to any video or classes or attending phone calls is dangerous. So for this video recording, in this scenario, it is not possible for you to conduct online classes all the 6 hours live. Based on the two big aspects I told you, one is the bandwidth, another one is the battery charge. In this, you can split into online teaching, live and offline. You take 2 or 3 classes online live and you record 2 classes. You record 2 classes and share the video to your students for the remaining 2 subjects. You can do it on shuffle. So that will be better for them. They can time off their convenience when they have charge or when they recharge their mobile phones. Time of their convenience, they can listen to the video. They can view the video. Even one more advantage is that if you have any clarification, they can rewind the video and play it again to make them clarify. I don't think it is possible for a faculty members to address the doubts of all the 60 to 80 students in a classroom. For language teachers, when the classes are clubbed, they will be handling with more than 120 participants in a meeting. Addressing the doubts of everybody is not possible. So in that scenario, you can record a video and post them and share the link with them. They can view the video. After that, for 2-3 subjects, which is comfortable for this type of activity, and you can receive the doubts through email or through WhatsApp group chat. You can clarify the doubts. So for recording, for video recording, you can do it on your mobile, but it cannot be shared because In a mobile, if you record 10 minutes of video, it will consume 500 MB of space for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If it is in a 1 hour video, the mobile resolution, because the resolution of the camera is high, 16 MB megapixel, 25 megapixel, like that. So the size of the video file is large, huge. So it cannot be shared. For that, you can use OBS software, which is available free of cost. OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software. It is available on the website https://obsproject.com. It's a wonderful software. You can create a PPT. You can convert the PPT into images. You can load the images onto the software. You can have your face on the top of the video. If time permits, I will show a demo of that also in this session. And Xrecorder is the software meant for the mobile applications. I will show a demo, 2 demos. One is for Xrecorder, how to record a video using Xrecorder software. Another one is the math solver, what I told you earlier, for mathematical equations. How to use that mobile app for solving mathematical equations. I will show the demo. 2 videos I will play now. Okay. So this is the process of Xrecorder screen recorder software. First, prepare your presentation. Keep the presentation on your mobile. Send through email and download it on your mobile, or keep it in Google Drive or OneDrive so that you can open from your mobile itself. After installing, start the recorder. Open the presentation. Start your speech. After completing your speech, stop the recording. Okay, I will show you the demo now. Hello. இன்னும் நான் பேசுறதா? மேடம், இப்ப இவ்வளவு நேரம் நான் பேசுறது கேட்கவே இல்லையா? ஒரு நிமிஷம், நான் எல்லாத்தையும் ஓப்பனாவே கேட்டுறாரு. ஒரு நிமிஷம் அப்படின்னா நீங்க வந்து உடனே கால் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Is my voice audible, sir?
No, sir. Ever since you started the demo Xrecorder, it was not audible.
Okay. I didn't speak after that. I will show you a demo. Wait, sir. There will be some problem in that data. So, some problem in the video. I will try another one. Hello. In this video, I am going to explain you about some mathematic equations of a tool. One very good tool is Microsoft Math Solver. It is available at Google Play Store. Math Solver. Is it audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Very much audible, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Microsoft Math Solver is there. So if you download and install it and open it. So I have written one equation on my notebook. Just I'm going to scan it in this window. A plus B plus C whole cube. Just take a photo of it. Automatically that will read the equation and give you the answer for this equation. So, the equation what I have given is A plus B plus whole cube. The expression is here. And some additional information about the equation what we have typed will be given in the bottom. Just go through it and have a look at all the problems that will give you some additional information about the equations and all. This is a wonderful software. Apart from this, you can there are three options to give input. One is to scan the written formula, or you can draw like this. So on this, going to write A plus B whole square. So just press go automatically. Expansion will be given here as this, like this. So in this way, you can type any equation that will scan and read and automatically give you the steps. The solution steps will also be given here. So this is the definition for this. It is a wonderful software. See, using this, you are not going to solve all the problems, but you can give some interesting, share some interesting information to the students so that your content will be a little bit pleasant and enjoyable. Thank you. So, in this way, you can use the Math Solver software to add some interesting modules to your e-content. Is it clear, sir?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, fine. And then I will show you one demo for OBS software. Okay. I will show you one demo. Wait, sir. So I have downloaded and installed the OBS software. Just now I am opening it. See, before that, I will take my presentation. This is my presentation. I want to save this as an image because OBS software will deal with the images, audios and videos, not with the PowerPoint or document or any other specified formats. So to present this PowerPoint along with my audio and video, to audio and with face and create a video, I need to convert this PPT to JPEG images. For this, open the PPT, go to Save As. In this, the Save As type is default is PowerPoint presentation. You just click this. Lots of options are there. Here, JPEG file interchange format will be there. Or GIF, PNG, whatever you select. By default format is JPEG. And then give save. It will ask for you want to convert the present slide alone or the entire slide, every slide. We want to have all the slides. So click every slide. So a folder will be created in the name of your PPT file, and inside the folder all the slides are converted into images and stored inside the folder. See, this is the name of the PPT and this is the folder what we have converted. You see this? All the slides are converted into images. Now open this OBS software. See, in this OBS software, what are all the things we are going to present? We are going to present our images, that is PPT images, and we want to have our face, our speaking video in any one place of the slide, and in background our audio. So three components are involved in a video. One is the presentation, one is the video of our face, and another one is the audio. Okay, here 3-4 segment of controls are there. First one, scene is a single scene, just you don't mind about that. And sources, we have to add the audio source, video source, and image source. You just press add here, and here you add this image slideshow. First you add image, create a new image, give OK. Here you will see in the bottom image files. You click plus. You want to add files or directory, you want to add files and choose this is the folder from all files. Select all using Ctrl A and then open. All the files will be listed here and then give OK. This black screen is the window of your video, so you can rearrange it or drag it to fit the black screen so that your screen will full of covered fully by this audio. And this you have to add your video capture device to add. It's a general webcam. Give OK. One second. In my webinar, my audio, I will off my video. Then only it will be activated here. So my video, very big size video is there. Just we want our video in a very smaller size. So make the presentation big and my video will be in this. Okay. And to add my audio, you have to add the audio input capture. It is added, default. So now you have set the images, you have set your video and also added audio device. Now here in the controls you start recording. Wait, before that you have to set the controls. For moving the slides now you have to set the hotkeys. For scene 1, for slideshow, for play and pause up, for restart space, start button, next slide. So you can give the arrow mark to navigate between the slides. And just click apply. Okay. Now you start recording. Your slides. You can speak. And you can pause the slides. You can go to previous slides. You can go to next slides. You can speak. Same time, impact of COVID-19, communication evolution, impact of ICT, what is e-content. So in this way, you can use the hotkeys, what you have fixed now, and then pass through the slides and record your audio. Then after completing all this, just you can stop the recording. And your video will be saved. Where? Go to this file menu. So is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You go to file and show recordings. The file will be stored here. So if you play this video, recording. Previous slides. You can speak. And you can pause the slides. You can go to previous slides. You can go to next slides. You can speak. Same time, impact of COVID-19, communication evolution, impact of ICT, policy content. So in this way, you can use the hotkeys what you have fixed now, and then pass through the slides and record your audio. But after completing all this, just you can stop the recording. So in this way, you can record a video. In this way, you can record a video. In this way, you can record a video using OBS software. Lots of options are there. If we go to OBS Studio website, when downloading, they will give you so much of instructions. You can see that. And so many videos are also available in the YouTube for how to use the OBS software for creating videos. We see that also. So in this then So this is the last one. Xrecorder and OBS software are the best softwares for creating the live videos that can be shared to the students. So with this, I didn't I forget to put the thank you slide. Sorry. So with this, we come to the end of this webinar. I have explained to you about the mathematical tools available in the MS Word that is sufficient for you to create equations and all. And I hope all of you are aware of using the Microsoft Excel for creating bar charts and pie charts like graphical images. We can go for the next session now. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Sir, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can hear you.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's Sebastian from Madurai Kamarajar University. I have one question. First of all, thanks to you for your wonderful lecture, how to type mathematical equation and so on. How to draw the graphs, sir. Suppose I am handling graph theory.
One second.
Yeah, okay.
So you can use Excel sheets, sir. You can use Excel.
No, sir, not like that. Just I want to make.
Tell me, sir.
I want to draw the graphs, graph theory paper. It's totally different from Excel. Just I want to draw the vertices, edges, and so on. Vertices, edges, complete graph. Likewise, I want to draw like that. Is there any possible? Is there any easiest way
Tools are available. Graph theory, graph generator will be there. Even you can use Sage, MATLAB. You can use MATLAB to draw the graphs. Linkscape, JP, NetworkX, Tix and PGF. You can Google it for exactly with your questions, sir. The graph theory tools are there. MATLAB is the best one to draw the graphs, sir. It's a very good programming language to create graphs.
Yeah, okay.
For research purposes.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, please. So good evening, Professor Mr. Anand. You have presented well. I am Indrajit from Chennai. Your webinar is very useful to the mathematicians and as well as all other academicians. Those are listened to this webinar, they will get more knowledge about how we use the e-content. That we have explained from the beginning. This COVID has a lot of impact in the lifestyle of the students and teachers.
Yes,
and there is this finally you have given the demo for screencasting. That's also very nice because it is not easier to do that screencasting because in this suit they are giving, but normal people cannot use that. Now you give the ideas by using the OBS software and how it can be. We can develop our things.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Just simply create your PowerPoint. Convert into images is very simple in PowerPoint. OBS is the freeware. That is a very big thing. It's a free.
Right. Will.
Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, some technical issues here. Sorry. I'm sharing my contact number, and I will share my presentation also.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Sir, I am Yamuna from ABC College Mathematics.
Okay, ma'am.
Sir, we have online classes from 3rd onwards, sir.
Yeah.
G Suite account and I record my classes, sir.
Okay.
But how to download it? Because it will be very big. Because for 1 hour it will take 140 MB for
Yes,
storage.
madam.
Right?
1 hour, 140 MB. Tell me. Complete your question, ma'am, please.
How can I download it and how can I share these videos to my student in Google Classroom, sir?
Madam, 140 MB per 1 hour is a very small size of high quality video that can be created only by Google Meet.
Yes.
See, there is no need to see, all your recordings will be stored in your Google Drive.
Yes, sir.
Open your email ID, go to Google Drive in the folder called Meet Recordings.
Yes, sir.
Inside, your video will be stored along with the meeting ID.
Yes, sir.
There is no need to download and send or share. No need to download. Just right click the video. There will be an option called shareable link.
Oh, okay.
Copy the link
Yes, sir.
and you go to your Google Classroom.
Okay, sir.
For this content, this is the link.
Okay, sir.
Just you paste the link there.
Okay, sir.
They will click the link and automatically the video will open. So without downloading and uploading, the video is stored in the cloud storage that can be shared from there itself.
Sir, but we have one ID for my whole department, sir. Everybody is stored in the same drive.
Okay.
That's why
If you have a G Suite account, madam, request your management to provide email ID to all the faculty members. Or otherwise, all the ID, all the videos will be stored in your Google Drive.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you just take you can share the folder. See, go to the meeting folder. No, you share the folder to all Gmail IDs, to any IDs.
Okay, sir.
You can share the folder to all the. You can give the email IDs of the persons with whom you want to share the folder. You can share the folder. They can go to the Gmail Google Drive. They can access your folder, meeting folder.
Yes, sir.
That can be shared, madam.
Okay, sir.
If you don't have the provision to have an email ID for all the faculty members, you can share the meeting folder with the other with other members with their Gmail ID.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Automatically, the folder will come to their Google Drive.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Yes, any more questions?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How to type the equations in Google Form without using images?
In Google Forms. Okay, you can type it in Word or in some other software and copy and paste it there, sir. If it is not coming there, if you accept only text, there is no other option for you to go for images.
Okay.
Even in the Google form, now, if you form questions, you cannot give bold type of effect to that. It will be a raw text. If you want to add equations, better you create an image and post it there and in a question. That is the only option.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, good evening, sir. This is Anna Marie from SRM University, Chennai.
Tell me, ma'am.
Sir, usually you told that to paste images in question, but when I try to post image, it comes downside of the question, sir. It's not pasting at a correct place. What it is the error I occurred, I don't know.
In Google Forms, sir.
In Google Form, yes, sir.
Share your ID, madam. I will check with it and let you know.
Pardon, sir?
I have shared my email ID anandbdu@pd.ac.in.
Sure, sir.
Just
Okay.
you send your queries to my ID. I will verify with Google Forms. I will work with Google Forms and give you the solution.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, sir,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Anand, sir, just another question. Any other important tool we can use for the classroom, sir? Whiteboard, in our class, we are teaching in the whiteboard classroom.
Okay.
Using chalk piece and everything, or otherwise presentation or anything. So
Sorry.
can directly, lively, we can directly use this in the online session.
Sir, I don't get you. The question is not clear to me.
No, sir, actually we can teach lively through online.
Okay, okay.
Using the board. Using the
Okay.
net itself. Not using the board, but we are using the board in the screen itself.
Okay, okay.
Can we have any other options for that?
So you want to write it online, no?
Yes.
Yeah, you can have you see what is that ID? 1 second, sir. So there is one website is there, so you can go and write it on using the pencil or hand. If you have a touch laptop, you can write the equations on that.
Okay. Name of the site, sir.
One second. I will give you the link. One learnity.in site is there.
Can you spell it or can you type
Wait,
it?
I will give you the links. I will check and give you the links.
Okay.
One second.
Okay.
One second.
Okay. Sir, it will work on in our screen, sir. Sir, I'm Indrajit. Sir.
Sir, you can check this website. I have posted in chat box.
Okay.
pcv.learnity.com.
Okay.
Okay, this site. See, I will share. You can check. Your Blackboard will come, sir. Automatically, you can write using your mouse, or if you have a touch laptop, you can write it on your hand or pen.
Okay.
You can share. You can start sharing and just start sharing the screen of that website. You can write, sir.
Very nice, sir. Thank you so much.
It's a good one. My son's school is using that. Just I forgot that name. That's why I refer with him and got the link.
Okay, nice, sir. I heard about that whiteboard file already.
Okay.
Already I know whiteboard file.
Okay.
That also be useful. We can enter the
Okay.
student one by one to our classroom, and we can share the board. Each student also will have the board.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this is we can directly use it. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, directly you can use it.
So that
You can save it also.
On the Tiruppural for this session, what
Yes,
this
sir.
session says that Totaniduru Manarkeni Mandartam Katraniduru Maridu. That is the full session, whole meaning of this session. Rulers in the body, இந்த ஒரு கற்றனை தூரம் அறிவு நம்ம படிக்க அறிவு தான்.
That's why in the initial slide I said that life is a continuous learning process.
Yes. What we said in the first opening of the session. Thank you so much, sir, for spreading your knowledge to us.
Thank you. Sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, I have one more doubt.
Yes,
sir.
ma'am, please.
Sir, when I conduct classes in Google Meet, can I control students' voice, muting all the audience? Is there any
In single click, you can't mute all the audience. One by one, you can do.
Once host muted all mics means they can able to unmute or not?
No.
The audience.
See, if you are in Zoom,
okay, sir.
if you are using the Zoom software, options are there to mute all participants.
Yes, sir.
Unless otherwise you permit them to unmute, they cannot unmute.
Yes, sir. But in Google Meet, it's not.
Yeah, that is not there. In Google Meet, the provisions are not there. We are expecting that type of controls in future.
Okay, sir. That's
Previously, it was Hangout chat is there, non-Google. That was upgraded to Google Meet after this pandemic starts.
Okay.
So we are expecting more improvements in Google Meet.
Okay, sir. At present, what are all the settings I have to follow before entering the class to control the students and making the classes smooth?
Sir, one thing, ma'am, you have to instruct the students, and students should have the self-discipline not to on their microphone and video. So that will reflect in two aspects. One is, as I said earlier, one is the bandwidth and battery charge. Another one is the disturbance for the classes. So students have to practice not to on the microphone and video during the class session. But initial stage, it will be difficult for you to control, ma'am. Slowly they will cope up with that. Because it is a new experience now.
Yes, sir.
So by telling some good words only, we can control them. Because we don't have eye contact with them, it's a very big issue here.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, ma'am, tell me.
I am using Google Meet for the online class. I am a math professor.
Okay.
I use one laptop for sharing. I have another laptop connected with it. I can see the students. But when I use my voice, it's getting echoed. Continuously it's getting echoed. So what I did was, the second option, I opened my mobile. I had that Gmeet there and used my headphone, and then I used that for voice alone. That also created a problem today.
Okay. See, in any cases, if you keep two electronic devices nearby, that will create the noise.
Okay.
Better you switch off all the microphones and keep your mobile aside, sir. Just in distance, minimum 2 to 3 feet distance, you keep that devices.
Okay.
And through which device you want to speak.
Okay.
Switch on the microphone in that device alone.
Okay.
And switching off your all other microphone of all other devices.
Okay.
That is the better option. If you keep two devices nearby, or if you keep near the electrical switch, definitely some noises and the voice will be added.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dear participant, please type. Please, any other questions?
Anybody type questions in the chat box? I didn't see. Thank you, Yamuna ma'am, for your feedback.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation, sir. Now it's
Thank
the
you.
time to vote of thanks. First of all,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to thank the management team of the Madurai Thirabiyam Taimanavar Hindu College, Tirunelveli, Thru M. Chellaya, Honorary Secretary, Thru S. Meenachi Sundaram, President, P. T. Sidambaram, President, Dr. R. Suresh, elected member, Thru A.L.S. Shanmugam, elected member, Thru D.R. Thirumalayappan, elected member, for their support and continuous encouragement. Next, I thank Dr. A. Subramanian, Principal and Head, and Dr. K. Balasubramanian, IQAC Coordinator, for the academic support. Next, I thank Dr. P. Namachivayam, Convener, and the organizing committee members, Dr. S. Chellaya, Dr. N. Meena, Dr. K. Das, Dr. K. Murugan, Dr. S. Lokamal, and Dr. M. P. Seidali Nisaya, and research scholars for the support. Next, I thank Dr. R. Gauri, PG and Research Department of Mathematics, Government College for Women, Kumbakonam, Tamil Nadu, and Miss D. Saranya, Research Scholar, the MTP in the Madurai Thirabiyam Taimanavar Hindu College, for their help. And because of the Madurai Thirabiyam Taimanavar Hindu College, I thank the resource person, Mr. B. Anand, Network Engineer, Aridasan University, Tiruchi, to accept immediately for this webinar through his busy schedule and wonderful technical support, and for his nice presentation and clarification for the questions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah.
For the past
Next,
90 minutes, you are listening to me with full patience.
Um,
I thank you
Next,
one and
I
all for
thank-
your wonderful cooperation.
Next, I thank all the participants for your cooperation during the presentation of this online webinar. Finally, I thank God for successful completion of this state level webinar. Once again, I thank one and all. Dear participants, e-certificate will be issued only after submission of feedback link. Kindly submit the feedback link. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.